It's Cowboys versus Jags this week, and if you want the Cowboys to keep their winning streak going, keep their hopes for the number one seed, the NFC East title alive as well, then like today's video. Don't be the one who doesn't like the video and the Cowboys end up losing, and it's kind of your fault a little bit if we're being honest there. So send the energy, the good vibes out into the universe. Like today's video if you want the Cowboys to beat the Jags. You're watching the Cowboys Report. I am Tom Downey here with our preview of the Cowboys against Jacksonville. First time in a very long time the Cowboys are actually playing in Jacksonville. Last time the Cowboys were the road team against the Jags, they played in London. So it's been a very, very long time. The Cowboys are favored this week. 4-point favorites on the road against Jacksonville. A big swing from what it was with the 17-point spread last week that Dallas did not come close to covering, by the way. Cowboys have the number 3 scoring offense, the number 3 scoring defense. The Jags are right about league average there in both offensive and defense. Very similar numbers so far this season for Jacksonville. Kind of startlingly weird, quite frankly. Jacksonville is not a bad football team. I want to emphasize this early on because although their record is not very good, they're 5-8, they're probably not going to be a playoff team barring a pretty historic collapse from Tennessee. You got the Eagles next week, and you can't get caught looking ahead to that game and come out flat again against Jacksonville. Now, maybe because the Cowboys-Texans game was so close, this makes this game against Jacksonville no longer a trap game. But this is the one I've said in this little 3-game swing here before Philadelphia. I viewed this one as the trap game for Dallas. What do you guys think? Is this a trap game for the Cowboys? Y or N in the comment section. Jacksonville's coming off a big-time win over Tennessee, 36-22, which, again, maybe reminds them, hey, they're not a bad team after a pretty rough showing against the Detroit Lions in Week 13. They also upset the Ravens. It's weird, but Jacksonville, when they have their A game, can compete with a lot of different teams. The offense is starting to figure things out a little bit here as they do have a very young, talented quarterback in Trevor Dorance. Dallas right now is in the midst of a 4-game win streak. They've lost 1 game since Dak Prescott returned as the quarterback. And it was a game they should have won. He scored 28 points. You have a 28-14 lead. That one's going to hurt you a lot, especially when it might come down to, are you a game back of Philadelphia in the NFC East? Early note here, and again, it is only Thursday, and he's getting the full padded work today, so unless there's a setback, I do believe you will see Tyron Smith back out there at left tackle for the Dallas Cowboys. I don't know how effective he's going to be, if he plays every snap even, but the Cowboys' plan right now is to get Tyron Smith back out there at left tackle, which is good timing because although the Cowboys will have played 0 snaps this year with their initially planned starting 5 up front, you lose Terrence Steele, officially placed on IR, just as Tyron Smith begins to make his return to the Cowboys. I would suspect you see Jason Peters over there at right tackle. I think we might still see some Josh Ball as well. We'll spend some more time on the offensive line as part of our keys to victory, plus some more injury notes here coming up. But first, put the score for me of the Cowboys against the Jags. The pinned comment on today's show, so head down there. I assume you've all got the Cowboys winning, but if not, please specify. Score predictions at the pinned comments of today's video. Some injury notes now for the Cowboys. We'll also hit Jacksonville here too, because why not? Jayron, Kearse, Tank Lawrence were limited on Wednesday. That'll be the case for pretty much the rest of the year as they manage that dislocated shoulder for Kearse, who also had a back label on this week, but I think he's fine there. Tank Lawrence battling the foot. He's just going to gut through it, and he played, of course, great again, especially against the run last week. Dorance Armstrong was limited with an ankle. He's got a low ankle sprain, a chance to play. I will label him questionable for now. But limited on Wednesday is typically a pretty good sign. And if Armstrong's on the better end of questionable, Jake Ferguson's on the less likely end of questionable. Concussion did not participate. Ferguson did not Wednesday, so we'll see. For the Jags, meanwhile, I know it says Trevor Lawrence did not participate. That was the case last week, and he still played, so I fully expect you're going to have Trevor Lawrence out there, who, again, we'll spend some more time on him here in a little bit. Other DNPs, some key starters, and Brandon Scherff, Trayvon Walker, Darius Williams, so definitely worth monitoring those guys if they're able to go. Otherwise, fairly big potential absences for the Jags. And Andrew Wingard, Chad Moomer are not elite players either, but limited on Wednesday again normally means you end up playing come Sunday. These days, every new potential hire can feel like a high-stakes wager for your small business, and you want to be 100% certain that you have access to the best qualified candidates available. That's why you have to check out LinkedIn Jobs. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the right people for your team faster and for free. We've hired some new people here at Chat Sports over the past couple months, and a big thanks to LinkedIn Jobs for helping us find the right people for these gigs. It's very easy to create your free job posting on LinkedIn Jobs. It's not going to make you spend a bunch of time to create it. It's about as simple as it can be while still getting the job done. You can also add your job in the hiring frame, the purple hiring frame, to your LinkedIn profile to spread the word that you're hiring. They've got simple tools like screening questions that make it easy to focus on candidates with just the right skills and experience so you can quickly prioritize who you want to interview and eventually hire. Calendar year is almost over. Cowboys trying to finish the year strong, and if you're trying to finish the year on the right foot for your small business, the right team member is what you need to make that happen. It's a big reason why small businesses rate LinkedIn Jobs #1 in delivering quality hires versus leading competitors. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the qualified candidates you want to talk to faster. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/NFL Daily. That's linkedin.com/NFL Daily. It's in the comment section, the description as well. Do make note that terms and conditions apply. Back now to our full-fledged Cowboys versus Jags preview. Let's talk some keys to the game. And a little bit different this time around. The pastor said, you got to stop the run. The Cowboys' run defense has actually been pretty good the past 2 weeks. There have been a couple nice runs by Jeff Driscoll, of course, and Damian Pierce had a couple nice runs. But overall, the Cowboys' run defense has been good, especially on an average basis, a per-play basis. What they need to do is limit the big plays. Now, Houston benefited last week from a lot of short area of the fields. We'll get to that more in depth with the turnover stuff here. But Trevor Lawrence, the thing he likes to do with his Jags offense more than anything is not the big downfield 20-yard bombs. It's the 10 to 19-yard throws and maybe some run for the catch stuff. Lawrence will make big plays for you. And if the Cowboys can slow down that Jags passing attack, I will feel better with that. Because the issue for Dallas' defense the last few weeks has not been that they've been a disastrous run team like they were in some of the games earlier this year. It's that they haven't been able to get off the field, haven't been able to get the big stops, and too many big chunk plays. If you can bring down those chunk plays again, the defense will be clicking on all cylinders, I think, once again. So who you got? I assume C for the Cowboys, but if so, flood the comment section with your C's. If you're feeling a Cowboys loss, type in J for the Jags. I'm going C. My score prediction, by the way, coming up at the end of today's video. Number 2. You got to stop the turnovers. As good as your offense has been, make no mistake, they've been the #1 scoring offense since Dak Prescott came back, and that's really good. You got to cut down on the turnovers, whether it's your punter muffing one for the first time all year or the really bad first half interceptions. You've got to dial those back. Those have been a real problem for the Cowboys. It makes life tougher on your defense. Now, I think the defense would tell you, hey, we'll take an extra turnover from the offense if we have to, if we're scoring 10 more points per game. But against better competition, you can't play as sloppy as the Cowboys have and expect to make that comeback in the second half like they've been doing as of late. So speaking of that, the key to the game, number 3, is avoid the slow starts. It's been a problem for Dallas, and this is, I think, part of it's you got a rhythm quarterback to an extent in Dak Prescott. Your coordinator can either have a really great script or a really bad script and be inconsistent there, and you've been making a lot of self-inflicted wounds. The penalties, the penalties were down last week. But Tyler Smith has 11 this year. That's among the highest in all the NFL. 3 of them were declined because there's a tendency to get flagged and get beat, which is not great. Terrence Steele has 6, but now he's out for the year. Kelvin Joseph, Peyton Hendershot, Dante Fowler, Micah Parsons. The penalties have to be brought down. The sloppy starts, the mistakes need to be brought down. Because we're talking higher level expectations, right? You're trying to make a push in the playoffs this year. You can kind of fart around, dink around, mess around for 3 quarters against the Colts, against the Giants, against the Texans, against the Niners, the Eagles, etc. That's not going to work. So one of those big points is to cut down on the penalties. You're going to get flagged, I know that, but you've got to not have them be critical, boneheaded ones. So let's keep bullying the Cowboys into fewer flags by typing in flags in the comment section. Number 4, how about you get Micah Parsons going, the Cowboys' best defensive player? I would say is not 100%, although it is December and there's really no one who's 100% because you've got various bumps and bruises and nicks and your body's just tired because he's getting hit. As he made the comment, he wasn't getting hit at linebacker every play last year. He's playing off ball. There's some plays where there's not as much contact. Defensive end, you're getting engaged every single snap. He's got to get going again. Now, Jags, not been a great pass blocking team. I think that favors Micah Parsons being able to get after Trevor Lawrence in this game. We will be live for the Cowboys Jags game, as we are for every single Cowboys game, and we are about 7,000 subscribers away from having 100,000 more than Jacksonville. It's kind of embarrassing that One Chat Sports Boy has way more subs than an actual NFL YouTube channel. Again, a bit of a poverty franchise. Hit that subscribe button for free videos every single day right here. Number 5. The offensive line needs to do its job, and I am a little bit more worried about this without Terrence Steele. The Cowboys' offensive line, the sacks are down, which I think we can give credit to the quarterback because, for example, the Patriots and Cowboys' offensive lines have the same amount of pressures, and the Cowboys have almost like 15 fewer sacks because sacks are often a QB stat. But the pressures are not that great. They've kind of worked around. It's been survivable. I think moving Tyler Smith to left guard is going to help cover up some of his issues in terms of penalties and sacks allowed and whatnot there. I hope Tyron Smith is healthy, but I'm worried about right tackle. I'm unconvinced it will be only Jason Peters. It might be both Ball and Peters. And Ball was fine in the ground game. He also got smoked for 2 plays that almost cost you the game against Houston. So I need the O-line to step up, especially in the ground game. Because if you're going to try to run the football like the Cowboys have been trying to do all year, your O-line has to do a good job of it. And they didn't do that great of a job against Houston, especially outside of that opening drive. So before we go, as promised, my score prediction. I think the Cowboys win, but I do think this is a hard-fought and narrow game. I do not feel overly confident. I think they will win. I think they should win, but I'm not nearly as cocky as I was against Houston, etc. So I got the Cowboys winning 27-24.